Welcome to the introductory video part 3 for the Warehouser open source project. This video is intended for software developers interested in learning how Warehouser can simplify and enhance the development of warehouse management systems, or WMSs. Warehouser is published at github.com/warehouser/warehouser and is offered under the Apache 2.0 license. It is developed using the Python programming language and the Django web development framework. It is assumed you are familiar with both these technologies, but if not, we provide some useful links in the description of this video where you can find more information and access their broad community for support. In the previous videos, we installed Warehouser and discussed the Warehouser database models and REST API endpoints. We recommend you view those videos first, and you can find the links to those videos in the description below. In this video, we will create our first WMS using Warehouser. I have my integrated development environment Visual Code open, and within that I have a terminal in which my virtual environment is active, and I am currently in the Warehouser project base directory. The first step is to create a client. It is recommended to use the Warehouser supplied auth tool like so. Python manage.py auth tool AUTHTOOL client create, and you can give your client a name. I'm going to call it demo, and supply an email address, and I'm just going to provide a demo email address and hit enter. It will ask for you to enter a password of at least 8 characters and that it is reasonably difficult to guess. And then it will ask you to confirm that password. And then we get this following output. Now, what this command does is first it creates a Django group called, in this case, demo, the name of our client. It creates a Django user also called demo. It assigns the demo user to the demo group. It creates a Warehouser client object associated with the demo group. It creates an authorization token for the demo user. And last but not least, it prints out the demo user's information. Remember to copy or save the authorization token value here. Now imagine you are at the demo client's warehouse and you identify a number of different container types, or as we call them, warehouse defs. You see a warehouse building, and in that warehouse you see a loading area and a bin. You are also told that from time to time, transport vehicles come and go to and from the loading area to deliver and pick up packages. And Demo, being the world's leading chocolate distributor, deals exclusively with chocolate bars. You observe that workers are kept busy with purchase orders, customer orders, inbounding products and packages, outbounding products and packages, and transferring products to and from areas and bins. So initially, you realize we need to create warehouse defs, product defs, event defs, and an initial state of warehouse instances to reflect the following map. We have a warehouse building at 123 Moving Way, Sydney, New South Wales, Australia 2000. And in that warehouse building, we have a loading area called Dock A and a single bin with the address of A01-01-01. To do that, first we ensure that the Warehouser server is running. To do that, we run the following command in the Warehouser project base directory and with your virtual environment active. We say python manage.py run server, one word, hit enter. Okay, now recall from the last video we spoke of the Warehouser API endpoints. Here we will demonstrate using those API endpoints with the help of the open source HTTP YAK tool. You may choose to use another REST client application and follow along. In the Warehouser base directory, there is a logic folder within which there is a demo REST folder. In there, you will find a number of HTTP YAK files. Open the auth.http file and paste in the authorization token we copied from the demo user auth tool before into the auth token variable like so, and hit save. Now open the one setup.http file and have a look. This is an HTTP YAK script with a series of REST service requests. Each request creates a single definition object starting with the warehouse definitions and then followed by the product definitions and finally the event definitions. Let's look at the create warehouse definition object requests. They all post to the /API/warehouse-defs/API endpoint and provide the content type and the authorization token headers and a body with the JSON value of all the data needed to create the definition object. Note the key value here. The first request we have a warehouse def. The next one is a loading area, and then a bin, a package, and a transport. So now I'm going to quickly run those scripts. And the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And finally, I'm going to run a GET request to the same API endpoint to get all the warehouse defs that we just created. So the count is 5, and we created 5, so that checks out. And we have the warehouse, a loading area, a bin, a package, and the transport warehouse defs, and that's it. Just quickly note the owner. The owner value is the ID of the client, which in this case is 41, which is the demo client object. The current user, as defined by the auth token, which was the auth token of the demo user, which is a member of the demo client group, can only see demo client data and cannot see any other client's data, just like other client users cannot see demo client data. That's very important. So now we've created our 5 warehouse defs. So now we have to create our product defs. Remember, we have chocolate bars. So we're going to run the chocolate bar, but now notice we're running to the product defs API endpoint rather than the warehouse defs endpoint. So now I'm going to run that script, and we can also then get all product defs here to verify that we now have one product def, and it's the chocolate bar, and it's owned by the same group, the same client, and it has all the same data that we supplied. And then finally, we have to define our events. And now we are going to post to the API event defs API endpoint. So we have a purchase order, we have a customer order, we have an inbound order, just an inbound event, an outbound event, and a transfer event. And if we do a get to the same API endpoint of /API/event defs, we get 5 total event def objects, and they are the purchase order, the customer order, the inbound, outbound, transfer, and they're all owned by our demo user. Just quickly, there is the option, it is an option, to provide for an event the proc_name value. If supplied, this is a reference to code that can be executed when you process an event created from this event def. We'll get more into detail into that later. So now we have created all our definition objects. Next, we want to create the initial environment. Remember, we have a warehouse building, and we have a dock, a loading area, and we have a bin. So we need to create 3 warehouse instances. To do that, we actually look up the type of warehouse def we want, the warehouse def object, and then call its do_spawn endpoint using the post method. So to create a warehouse building, we look up our warehouse def objects ID, which we have stored in a variable like so, and we say post /API/warehouse def/ that ID / do_spawn/. We provide our typical headers, the content type and the authorization token, and now we provide the body of data to create that instance. And so we are going to run that, and then we do the same thing, but now we want to create the dock. And the dock uses the loading area definition, but it has a parent. It's nested inside the warehouse that we just created. So we say the parent ID, we provide a parent ID, and we say that the parent ID is the ID of the warehouse instance that we just created. And so I'll run that. And now we can see that it has created a loading area called Dock A, and its parent is that warehouse that we created just a moment ago. Similarly, in the same warehouse, we want to create a bin, and its value, or its address, if you will, is A01-01-01, like so. And now we can get all our warehouses that we just created, and we have 3, and it's owned by our demo client user. And the first one, we have a warehouse at this value, and the second one is a loading area called Dock A that's in that warehouse. So if we highlight that, you can see that it's the same value as the warehouse ID, so it's pointing to the warehouse. And similarly, the bin is also in that same warehouse, and it's been given the value of A01-01-01. So now we have a Warehouser installation and a WMS for our new client demo, complete with all the definitions and the initial environment. This concludes this video. In the next video, we will explore how to use events to change the state of the warehouses and products. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and check the notification bell. And until then, happy warehousing.